All right, lines and slope. What I want you to do is go ahead and hit pause and copy this down. So go ahead and do that. All right, when we talk about slope, we are talking about the change in y, which are the vertical change, and the change in x, which is the horizontal change. Or this is the formula that I like you to use more. This is a little more detailed and specific than what we have over here. And it is using your coordinates of 2 points on a line to where you have y minus y over here, which is going to be y2, which is the subset of the second ordered pair, and then y1 is the y of the first ordered pair, over or divided by x of the second set of ordered pair minus the x of the first set of ordered pair. So when we talk about, let's say, 2, 3, and set 4, 1, this is my second set, this is my first set. So this would be x2 and y2. This over here would be my x1 and my y1. Okay, so that's what these are relating to, and that's what these are relating to up here. Okay, so my y and my x of set 1, and then y2 and x2 are these two numbers here. Slope is the number that tells us how steep a line is. It can be a positive slope or it can be a negative slope. It's all based on this line, which is my y-axis. Okay, and we'll talk more about it in detail as we go. So what I want you to do is find the slope of this line. Well, to find the slope of this line, we have to find 2 points that lie on that line, which the 2 points in this case would be -1 and +2. For this point would be -2 and -1. So now we're going to go over here and plug it into this particular formula. So we have, in this case, we have now plugging this in. Actually, I'm going to let you go ahead and solve this according to these 2 points if you haven't already done so. So go ahead and hit pause and do that. So we're going to plug this in. We'll use this as set 1. This is going to be set 2. And you might have done it either way. It doesn't matter. You just need to label one so you know exactly what it is. So my y2 is going to be -1, minus my y1, which would be a +2. Then we go over here. My x2 would be -2 minus x1, which is this one right here. And now we can solve them. Well, -1, and you might want to change these to the opposites. Add its opposite, add its opposite. So it makes a little more sense because we are dealing with integers. So now it's a -1 plus a -2, which is -3. And -2 plus a +1 is -1. Now, one thing that you have to realize is that you cannot have two negatives. This is like a -3 divided by a -1, and we can get rid of both of those negatives by dividing by a -1 to each one, which then gives me 3 over 1. Basically, again, you are dividing by a -1 to each one of those to get rid of that. Now, if I did have this as a +1, then we would simply leave it as a -3. Okay? But it is not. So since it's negative, therefore this is a positive 3-1 slope. And you leave it 3-1. You could, if you wanted, to change it to the slope of being just a 3. Okay? Either one of those works in this situation. Because it goes up to the right, therefore it's positive. Anything that goes to the left of a vertical line, it is going to be negative. So that's another way of double checking your answer. So let's look at our next problem and go ahead and solve this using our formula. So we have, again, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This will be my first set. This is my second set. So let's plug it into our formula. So y2 would be negative 2 minus y1, which is negative 1, over my x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is 1. Therefore, we end up, and I can change this to its opposite, and we get negative 1 over 3 minus 1, which is going to give me 2. And that is, in simplest form, we have 1 negative, therefore it is a negative 1/2. Let's look at our next problem and go ahead and hit pause and solve this. So again, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and we'll plug it in. This is my first, this is my second. So I get negative 3 minus y1 is 0, and then x2 is 2 minus my x1 is 1, and negative 3 minus 0 is negative 3 over 2 minus 1 is 1. So I can leave this as a negative 3, 1, or you could simply say negative 3 is my slope. Okay. Questions on this? Please certainly make note of that, and we will discuss this further tomorrow in great depth and detail, and we also be working on slope-intercept, which will take it a step further. Again, utilizing this formula is absolutely key and crucial, and it will help keep you organized and consistently correct. Have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow.